A true boss babe in the skin space, Miss Jaclyn Luongo is an esthetician, executive, and entrepreneur for all things skincare, but the skincare that actually works, like Lumenvi. Listen and watch as she shares the magic behind the latest technology involving salmon DNA and how you can get your hands on it. Check it out on the YouTube channel, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Let's go. Are you a beauty or barber pro looking for that push to do that thing you've always wanted to do, whether it's in or out of the salon, spa, or shop? Are you tired of not feeling good enough, smart enough, skilled enough? Are you tired of not getting a handle on your mental health, boundaries, and insecurities? I'm Krystine Sherwood, the BeautyPro coach, an internationally certified coach, a salon and spa owner, and your personal Jiminy Cricket. I use my own experiences, good and bad, as a salon owner to help you be more self-aware, authentic, and forward-thinking in your approach to life, in and out of the salon. It's time to reach your version of success with the BeautyPro Coach podcast. Oh my goodness, you guys. I am here with Miss Jaclyn Luongo. Yes. Okay, cool. And she was sharing with me such a cute little story about how she heard about me and the Beauty Pro podcast. Jaclyn, can you share that with everybody? Because that's really cool.
Absolutely. So, my best friend, who also happens to be in the beauty world and in the industry, in a completely different side of it, permanent makeup, she listens to podcasts when she walks every single day. So, months ago, she came across your podcast, and it's all industry related podcasts that she listens to. That is her vibe. That's what she does. And she constantly says how brave it is to, of course, have a podcast and on top of it, be able to talk about what's in the industry. So I started to listen to some of your podcasts specifically about holiday, which I can't wait to get your take on that. I loved that. And that was a singular podcast. That was just you, and you
Yeah.
had so much info. And when I started to listen, I started also sharing it with friends. That's how this whole thing works, and we support each other. Months later, our PR company for Lumenvi PDO Max said, "Do you want to be on this podcast?" And I said, "I know this podcast. Yes, I do." So it's how the universe works in that sense, where it puts us together. And I'm so excited because I think there's so many backstories for us that are very parallel and how we got where we are. I come from the hair care beauty world many, many moons ago. At a young age, just like you did. So I'm so excited to chat with you.
I love that. And I love how it comes full circle and you're like, oh my God, yes. Like that is the coolest thing for me. So thank
Mhm.
you for sharing that. Now for everybody listening, please share who you are, what you do, like who you're representing, like the whole 9 yards, please.
Absolutely. So I love the beauty industry. I've been in it for 25 years. Started more in aesthetics. I am a licensed esthetician. I live in Boston. I
Love Boston. Love.
Yes,
I'm in
it's great. It's
Florida,
great.
but I love Boston. Okay.
And so I started in the beauty industry as an esthetician and grew into sales, training, education. I've had the opportunity to train in Europe with Italian estheticians that are so elite. Uh, and with skincare, they're always way ahead of us. And then my just career started to evolve into more leadership and being able to follow and put that passion of skincare together with the leadership and empowering women. So I am in my forever home, I feel, in my industry with PDO Max and Lumenvi Skincare. I work with amazing women that we are supportive of each other every day in the dreams and the passion. And I'm so lucky to be with this company. So I'm vice president of business development. We do have a sales team nationally throughout the country that are selling our products from PDO threads to skin boosters, glow pin stampers, and now we have this really special, unique skincare line.
I'm so excited. I love all of those things. You are a boss babe. Like, you're killing
Excited.
it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my
I love
god.
this industry. It's so great. I wrote a book 6 years ago called Successful Selling in the Beauty Industry, and you can get it on Amazon. I just felt like within sales, it has this kind of negative connotation to it sometimes. And I don't ever feel like I'm selling ever. And so there's tidbits in that book of how to do that in a very smooth, easy, flowing kind of way that puts it at ease because it's part of what we do, no
Mm,
matter what industry you're in, but definitely in the beauty aesthetic sector.
I l
So
we're definitely gonna have the link to that book in the show notes because I feel like we need that, and the generation, the new beauty and barber pros that are coming up, they are, like, not about it. Right? They do not wanna sell. And how do you teach them? How do you motivate them? How do you bring that importance to the forefront? Because it's not about selling, it's about earning your clients' trust through that
Mhm.
means. So what say you?
So first, finding our why.
Mhm.
Clearly, you and I have found our why, and how you do that, everybody gets there at a different point in their lives. And once you have that why, there's a passion and a just true heart behind it. So once you do have that, I feel sales under that umbrella is so much easier and feels natural. It doesn't feel forced
Mhm.
and it doesn't feel like part of the job.
Right.
So once you take that piece away, the mindset shifts to the reason we are recommending or consulting about whatever product that might be. It could be a service in the beauty industry, it could be home care routine that's used at home. It doesn't matter. It's about you believing in what we are talking about, what you are teaching either B2B, which is solely what I do, but
Mhm.
also from the esthetician, from the stylist, from the med spa provider, what they are selling to the patient or client to use at home. And having that belief of what you're selling and what you're doing makes it so much easier. And knowing that it helps them
Mhm.
and it is not just about selling and making a number or getting that sale. It's about the longevity and the sustainability of being able to, one, on my end, help a business grow. But then on the second part, for your clients, your patients to be able to maintain those results or even elevate them at home with proper home care. They're
Mhm.
buying it somewhere as well. We know that. We're consumers. I know. I know.
I mean,
Absolutely.
exactly, exactly. Now here's the other, I guess, side to that coin is I have heard, "No, I'm not gonna sell at all." Okay, there's that. And then the other side is, "Well, I have to try every product. I have to try," and it blows my mind because I'm like, "That is impossible." So you need to try every product in the industry ever so you can recommend it? Really?
Right, exactly. That's a tough one. And I believe in niche. I believe in finding that path and
Mhm.
being expert at it so that when you are speaking about microneedling, when you are speaking about lasers, when you are speaking about injectables or facial treatments or color versus
Mhm.
cutting,
Mhm.
that you are finding that road and you're sticking to it. You can't be great at everything,
Yeah.
just like you can't speak to every single product that's out there. And how could we even maintain that? Because the beauty industry comes out with something new every hour.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you we were talking about it before, and then I think you also mentioned it now, is that there are so many different avenues of the
Mhm.
beauty industry. And so within the industry, there's so many different paths you can take and all of the things. But then also besides that, we are majority of us are women in this industry, but besides we're humans and we have so many different like passions. How can we use what we like as humans first to
Mhm.
incorporate it with our business side?
Well, why did we all get into this?
Hmm.
Really thinking about the common denominator of why does someone get into this industry? They are artists, they're creative. They didn't want to go the traditional, maybe corporate route right away. I
Hmm.
ended up semi in that later on.
Hmm.
They are nurturers. So it comes from that foundation of why did you get here? What interested you in the beginning? And I know I had my first facial at 11 years old. I needed to wax my upper lip by then. So it was just something that I was exposed to. And think about little girls with their Barbie dolls or makeup or even those pretend makeup kits. Like we start to be exposed to it at a young age. And if it is attractive to you then, it's always going to be inside you. So what a gift that we were blessed enough
Yeah.
to say, I'm going to take that route and I'm going to go and follow something that's interesting to me
Yeah.
and make a living out of it.
That's
So,
cool. That's cool.
I think it's yeah, it comes from that.
I love that. It's your inner child. Like the things that you discovered then, it's always with you. That's so
Yes.
cute. I love that. Okay, so what do you feel is the secret to success?
Secret to success. Never stop learning. Find a good mentor. Once you think you know everything, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as we evolve, as we grow, and there's different layers throughout the chapters of your life, that is success. And that there isn't necessarily this specific thing that, boom, there you are. It's a progressive piece that you find heart and passion within, so that's fulfilling. And then you're constantly seeking what else you can learn. And that's what's also great about the beauty industry is and aesthetics is that constantly evolves. 25 years ago, most of this did not exist. And now
Mm-hmm.
look at how much we've grown. And I don't
Yeah.
see that stopping.
Mm-hmm.
So at a young age, I found a mentor and I would watch someone on stage or even in a meeting, leaders that I wanted to mimic down the road. And I remember saying, oh, I want to be like her someday. I want to be in that chair. I think I could do that, but I'm not ready for it. So find a mentor to get you there
Mm-hmm.
because the in between is most important.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell I have an 18-year-old daughter that's in college now and it's so cool. It's so fun to watch that trajectory. Very different than mine, but common denominator even with that. The 5 people you spend the most time with is who impacts and influences who you become. And so even as an athlete that she is, play up, play up. Don't think
Mm-hmm.
small, think big. It's possible. And you excel more when you play up, when you surround people yourself with people that are smarter and you're able to ask questions and then grow that way.
Oh man, that is gold. I love that so much. Yes, think big, play up. Absolutely. Okay,
Mhm.
so you have done a lot in the industry. So let's just deep dive into what has been your biggest failure and what did you learn?
So it's interesting. I talk about this pretty often in a very vulnerable way. Is when you're chasing that, whatever that is,
Mm-hmm.
you compromise who you are sometimes. And I think that that has been the biggest challenge is thinking I wanted to be here, wherever that might be, somewhere above or somewhere that you think is success. And being humbled very quickly that this is not something that fills my tank or
Mm,
makes me happy. I don't like to travel all the time. I'm a homebody. I like to be home. And I also want to surround myself with women and people who are supportive and encourage you and ask questions to be able to help you. And so I've been in environments and work environments that that was not the
mm,
case. And so I was compromising that fulfillment for thinking where I was going to lead and grow into the industry. The gift of being able to pivot is probably the best gift that you could ever give yourself, that you can forgive yourself for making that choice and adapt. And in business, that's even with PDO Max, that's what we've done as the
mhm.
industry has evolved. If you stay stuck because you think this is where you're supposed to be or where you set out to be, I think that you're doing yourself a disservice. I think that I never went into aesthetics thinking that I would be here, but I'm so glad that I challenged myself to find different things and put eggs in different baskets to be able to determine what I really loved and
Mm,
then figuring out what I definitely did not love and
mm.
staying away from that. I think
Yeah.
that's a good rule of thumb for life, for relationships, friendships, right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Okay, and what is the current struggle that you're going through right now? It could be personal or professional.
I feel like with transitional periods, which I do think the industry is in that right now,
Mhm.
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a struggle, but I want to lean into where the aesthetic industry is to support it more
Mm.
by encouraging the synergy of working with medical providers and estheticians together or beauty professionals.
Yeah.
I think we hit a roadblock sometimes when we feel like we're stuck in our scope for aesthetics.
Mhm.
But I also think the medical providers out there, the injectors, the nurses that are in aesthetics, they are business may be down. Like they're talking about filler being down. There may be those more high ticketed items that or services that are maybe not being offered or accessed by clients and patients as much at the moment.
Mhm.
So, is it a challenge? Not necessarily if we lean into still being able to see our patients or clients once a month, every 6 weeks, at maybe not that huge ticketed price service, but still being able to see them. And I think if the medical industry and aesthetics also partnered more with the esthetician, that there would be even more growth and success because together I do feel it's a great to sync up that way is a great way to have some growth in an industry that tends to be affected by the
Mhm.
economy or affected by some of the patients and clients out there holding their wallets a little bit tighter these days.
Yeah.
So that's how I think we need to keep going and grow without stopping and saying, what do we do now? Like
Right.
this is how you work together. Not even it's not a competition. If these medical providers and estheticians can pair up, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that also creates amazing results,
Mhm.
even more so than if it
Mhm.
was in one silo or the other. Together, they can do so many wonderful things.
Yeah. So, okay, so from what I'm hearing, it's one, it's endurance.
Yeah.
Keep going, babes. Like, keep going. Do not give up. Just budget. And then
Right?
two, like marrying these two seemingly distinct industries together, the medical and the spa. So, what is the disconnect then between medical and not?
So it's interesting as the scope of practice changes in different states for estheticians. I'm really happy that there are a lot of states now that you're able to microneedle or do stamping or more topical, even some laser treatments.
Yeah.
But where the disconnect has been is that some estheticians are not getting a medical director or going and working in the med spas where they have access to lasers to be able to treat on a deeper level, whether it's acne or
Mhm.
scarring or age management. So I think that there's been a disconnect over years that they don't work together, but they really do.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping, and of course, seeing that happening from my standpoint, from
Yeah.
Lumembi Skincare
Yeah.
and working with PDO Max, that estheticians and medical providers, injectors are certainly working more closely together and starting to bounce clients from each other because the
Mhm.
esthetician is the skin expert and the medical provider injector can treat on a more deeper level, but both are needed,
Yeah.
especially for the results that patients these days or clients these days are in need of
Mm.
and are seeking out.
Yeah. What can we, like in the beauty industry, what can estheticians kind of do more of to bridge that gap? Like, how can we be actively in pursuit of this?
So I feel strongly, I think podcasts like this, it's real life right at the moment.
Mm,
I
mhm,
think this is one of the best ways to access current innovative information through talking with people
mm,
and hearing this because
mm,
this airs very quickly. And so it's real time information
right.
and going to conferences, being in person. This is what we do. Our energy to still be inspired by others, hear how things are working, be on those forums, be part of the communities. I think that sometimes, especially post pandemic, we've gotten used to being in our bubble or having a having just a routine that doesn't support that,
Yeah.
but we can shift a bit because I think that that's needed. I think that that's how we will learn that we can work together, and the only way to do so is to start asking questions and be part of
Mm,
as many communities as possible. Figure out what's working for others and take those pearls from each of them and
yeah.
figure out what works for you at your pace.
At your pace. That's the key. That is the key. And
Mhm.
you did mention, and it seems to be a theme that I personally keep hearing. I went to the IECSC for Lauderdale just not too long ago. And that was a theme there too. And different SDs that I've talked to is to continue to encourage the estheticians and spa professionals to keep going to the shows. And you just mentioned it here. Um, what's going on that all of a sudden we're like, wait, 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 go to the shows, go, go, go. Like, what? Am I missing something?
So I feel like there could have been a time that people were not attending them.
Yeah.
So they've become a bit smaller, whether it is because of post pandemic.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying you have to go in person to everything, but be part of these webinars.
Hmm.
Take the time to educate yourself, take the time to learn something new, or even really, even social media. You're able to access information. Listen, have your ears open
Hmm.
and hear what's happening out there. I also think as business owners, it's important to understand what's happening in the economy and learning about that and understanding it isn't just about your craft or your artistry and what you do with your hands,
Hmm.
but the business piece of it, being able to have some confidence in that and gain momentum with that is really important as well. And I
Yeah.
think that these communities help with that. I think that there's a lot of groups and forums that are able to lean into that further if that's where there may be a void in your business
Sure.
or what's stunting you from growing. If
Hmm.
we stay comfortable, which we did for a long time, for many years, through the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's the enemy of growth. And so life's about showing up, whatever that looks like
Right.
for you.
So many good nuggets. I'm so excited about this. Okay, so now let's get into PDO Max, right? Let's get into who you're representing here on the podcast today. So go. I am here. I am ready.
Well, a trend in the industry for the past many years has been non-invasive treatments.
Yeah.
Less downtime, perhaps the in between. You're not ready for a facelift quite yet, but you need a little something. So, non-surgical treatment like PDO threads that are lifting and help with collagen production with smooth threads. That's how PDO Max started. So we started as a thread company about 8 years ago, and Giovanna McCarthy is our CEO and founder, and she's a total expert in the beauty industry. She would talk with you about being 16 years old in the salon where she started and still loves microdermabrasion to this day, which I completely agree, and how the industry has grown. And so the company's premise is really about education and training, especially because it is a more elevated service
Mm.
that medical providers are doing in office. And so we certainly are very proud and stand true to our training process with PDO Max. Geo travels and we have 25 trainers throughout the country for these PDO threads. And so years later, I had met Geo many, many years ago and stayed in touch and watched the company evolve through friends and colleagues. She started to research ingredients for skin boosters
Mm.
and found that PDO threads, smooth threads in a powder form, were quite effective topically when channeled a bit, either post laser or stamping or microneedling.
Mhm.
That it was a really great synergy to do in combination with our barbed lifting threads, smooth threads, and then being able to have patients access the more topical version with PDO Afterglow. And that's when I started with the company a few years ago, going more in that aesthetic path and focusing on that. About a year and a half ago, we launched the Loom Envy category, which is PDRN. That's a hot trend right now.
I
It's
love it.
salmon DNA, salmon sperm. You, you,
Okay.
Jaclyn wrote or posted about it maybe about 6 or 7 months ago, and we were already on top of it. Geo has been researching ingredients and Korean skincare, Korean beauty for years. And so getting access to some really active quality ingredients on top of the PDRN, there's glutathione, niacinamide, vitamin C, all of the brightening components. So putting the age management of smooth threads and PDO Afterglow and then PDRN with Lumemvi. It grew from there from more topical stamping. Still, it's this theme here. The medical provider can be doing it, but the esthetician can also be doing it. This
Oh,
is where they work together. This is
ah.
where there's growth and strength in that way because they're able to work in synergy together. And then most recently, we've launched a home care glow between kit
Mm.
that is really amazing to elevate the results from home. And just like I said earlier, there's times where patients and clients are maybe not coming into the clinic or the spa or the salon as frequently. So, how do we sustain their results? At home kits, at home use. It's not as high of concentration of PDRN, but it helps to maintain the treatment effects until they come back for their in service treatment. Or it's a stepping stone to see what active skincare quality, professional grade ingredients can do for the skin because there really is a difference for
So
sure.
so it sounds like PDO Max is like the bridge. Like this particular company is like the the bridger for aesthetics and medical aesthetic. Like, this is cool. Like, I have not, like, I've heard of certain skincare lines, but you guys are like zoning in on this gap and you're banking on it.
Absolutely. We are well, we support both.
Yeah.
We support both really equally because
Yes.
we see the value in that equally and seeing that there's a place for both in the industry, whether it is the aesthetic just as an umbrella or wellness,
Mhm.
self-care,
Mhm.
and also allowing consumers now to have access to skincare tools like dermabrasion,
Right.
tools, facial sculptors with LED lights, the benefits of LED lights. We know that as professionals, the benefit, but also giving the consumer access to that to elevate whatever goals they have for their optimal skin health.
Right.
It it helps the cause.
Mhm.
And that's why we created the home care component to it because we found that that's important. And we know that now the consumer is so much more educated
Mhm.
because of the access that we all get. We're consumers ourselves, that there was a need. And so we listened to that need. And now, a year later, we've just recently launched the Glow Between Kit. We have a serum, we have an amazing PDRN sheet mask that has the theme of glass skin and results for really all skin types. Anyone could use this and use it safely at home, along with those tools. An LED mask that I think is just imperative as we start to age.
Absolutely. I agree with that. My mom is obsessed with red light therapy, okay? Like, it works, but it is so funny how she as a consumer, because she's also in this industry too, as a consumer, she is like about it. Like, if she could just be in her red light, suit, like she would. So this is great. I am loving the camaraderie between both of these things. Um, so now for estheticians listening and or watching this episode, how do they just reach out to PDO Max and like set up a class, or like how do they, because I know that's a thing, a lot of estheticians like their dreams are to be a medical esthetician, but like a lot of them don't know how or where to
Mhm.
go to do that.
Absolutely. So, in one of my other lives in the industry, I was director of professional development for an aesthetic school. It was the second accredited aesthetic school in the US, and it's in the Boston area.
Wow.
Uh, and what's so cool is that at one point, medical aesthetics was kind of coined, but aesthetics is under that category of you get your license. Some states are
Mhm.
cosmetology board, others are
Sure.
aesthetics. It's your job as an esthetician to go find and access continued education. And again, those conferences or taking those courses and building on that is, of course, how you get there.
Mhm.
And so how do you find these companies? Of course, those forums are really great that are on social media, but finding one and getting educated, whether you are going to go ahead and buy equipment or you are interested in purchasing products simply like PDO Max, that's where you start. And that's how it kind of networks. So we're not just a thread company anymore. The esthetician can purchase the glow pin stampers, which is a point 0.5 stamper that helps to deliver ingredients into the skin. I feel in a more efficient way than microneedling. So you have options in your tool belt. So pdomax.com is our website. Following us on social media, that is for the professional, and you can reach out to us. I've developed as much as I can when it comes to the resources and the tools that I feel if I was in their shoes that they would need, from graphics to protocol videos, everything that I think in my mind sets you up for success in your business. And you could start with in clinic treatment, or you start with both and you do a synergy of both the home care supporting retail and the back bar. It's quite simple to plug into
Mm.
whatever else you're doing. We're not trying to take place of it.
Yeah.
We sit on the shelves with a lot of other clinical advanced skincare brands, and in the back bar as well.
Mhm. What is a common myth that you get a lot, like you personally get a lot, working in this industry?
So I feel like a myth is I speak highly of estheticians because I think that we fix skin more than some other beauty profession like, no, or just like in the dermatology, medical,
Yeah.
I think the myth is that estheticians, that might be someone's last resort, which
Mm.
infuriates me, of course, because that's all we go to school for is
Yeah.
skin. That's all we learn
Yeah.
in however long you go to school. And so the myth is like it's just topical, it's not going to make a difference. It actually is. And like we look at root causes, we as from aesthetic point of view, we have the ability to have these active ingredients. PDRN has been used in the medical field for many, many years,
Mhm.
oncology, all of that. And now estheticians are starting to be able to have access to quality ingredients, active ingredients, concentrations that make a difference. So I think the myth is that it's just fluff and buff still,
Mhm.
but that is so not true. And if you want to learn about your skin and be educated about your skin, you go to an esthetician. If there's something you want to improve in your skin, you go to an esthetician. And we need to have more confidence in that and authority because we really do have heart about it and expertise. And if we don't know, that's why we're partnered with those medical providers. If
Right.
it's something that we're not supposed to touch in our scope of practice, that's why that's so important and really how we are even going to make the industry better because we should be working together, not against each other.
So, how does an esthetician start, like, teaming up with these medical estheticians? Do they just, like, go find a medical spa and go like, "Hey, I'm an Esty. Listen, can we work together?" Like, how do you connect?
You could start that way or networking with even laser companies that you might be connected to or
Mhm.
learn from. I feel like the opportunity of growth
Yeah.
in spas and med spas and pairing yourself with a provider, it's all about networking. So again, life's about showing up. If you don't
Yeah.
go to these events, if you don't talk to other industry leaders, you won't meet the right people. And
Right.
I've been blessed to develop relationships and friendships out of the industry. I encourage you to do that because we talk the same language. So how
Mhm.
cool is that to be able to have a personal and a professional relationship with the people that you get to work with or collaborate with,
Yeah.
and not being afraid to ask. It doesn't hurt to ask, just like in sales. The
Right.
worst they can say is no, but
Right.
there is value in what estheticians do, and there's of course value in what the injectors and the medical providers out there are doing, but pairing together makes it even better.
Mhm. What is a lesson that being in this industry and all of the different forms that you've been in, what is the lesson that you have learned that you wish everybody else in the world would just get?
That's a tough one because I feel like we have to feel the feels and go through it to actually, so to speak the lesson, you're not going to get it unless you experience it.
Yeah.
Whether it is that, okay, this is, I want to be here. And then you think, oh no, I don't want to be there. And, setting these goals that are maybe what you think you want to do. But I think the best lesson is follow your heart and follow what is going to fill your tank and find pride in, and maybe that also has financial reward and economic independence for, the why you go to school for whatever you go to school for. And I've I found it. I found it within the women I get to work with, the company,
Mhm.
and my team, and the accounts that life's about choice. So being able to choose the kind of accounts and businesses and finding the mentors to get you even further.
Yeah.
Those are all good ones.
Yeah.
I try not to tell my daughter what to do because I want
I
her
thi
to learn her own lessons too.
Right.
I had to.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any service by saying, "Don't do this, but do this," whether it is to the esthetician or to her.
Yeah. See, that's good. I love it when we are able to bring in like our like family examples and relationship examples because what we do is so intimate. Like our if we have a bad day with our husband or our boyfriend or our mother or whatever and then we go to like it all meshes together,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely
Um
does.
what is in what has been your favorite insult that you've ever gotten that is like your driving force to everything?
Those that don't understand the beauty industry think that it's not like a serious industry or career. And I'm just like, "Ugh, you have no idea. So you go ahead and judge and think that it's just pretty whatever. It's not. And I know that it's not. So I don't get defensive. And I just think, "Ugh, you have no idea the fun I have on a daily basis." So
I love that. Okay, it's a good one. All right, so wrapping up, like time is flying. So, what is one question that I did not ask that you wish I would have, and how would you have answered?
So I really love how you get your guests to be vulnerable and sort of talk about their life experiences. You did a great job in being able to kind of intertwine and integrate real life, what we do for our career, to lessons, no matter who's listening,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're industry professionals or not. I think that I could even ask you that question, like, why are you in this industry? Why are you still doing this? I think that that's something that we can see in each other just by talking, that that's why there's a reason why we're here. So I think that that's the only kind of missing piece here is the why. Like, why are we still here however
Yeah.
many years later with all the lives we've lived in this industry?
That is so true. So what is your why?
I really feel like I could never think of doing anything more. I couldn't anything different. I've always loved this industry, and I think that when you first get out of school, there is a percentage. There's definitely statistics around how people change,
Mhm.
and like you've graduated, and then you don't find it, and then you don't stick with it. So that endurance,
Yeah.
going back to having grit and knowing that that first year of aesthetics, I struggled.
Mm.
I did not make a lot of money. I was building clientele. I was trying at it, and I knew it was going to be worth it. So being in it for the long road is important. So I can't imagine ever changing what I do in the industry ever, but being open to different parts of it along the road. And that's how I've gotten here.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
it. I just love it. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Jaclyn, for coming on the Beauty Pro podcast, sharing your wisdom, expertise, education, like all the things. I am so excited for everybody to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. And be open to be open to being more of a consultant and not selling. I think that that's really important.
I love
And
that.
try the product. Please check out Glass Skin. Try the
Yes.
protocol. PDOmax.com, Loom MV Skincare. Follow us on social. I I just love the results that we are getting. The proof is in those photos, in the
Mhm.
videos,
Mhm.
and I'm really proud to be part of it. And we're not done yet, so we have a lot of cool new ingredients in the pipeline.
Just getting started. Love it.
Exactly.
I love it. You guys, all of these links are going to be in the show notes. I'm so excited for you guys to check this out. Jaclyn, again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. Thank you.
If you've never heard of Loom Envy or PDO Max, now you have, and you must get your hands on it, not only for yourself, but for your clients and your community. I already got mine, and I am in love. Check out the links in the show notes. Go get yours, order it today, and let me know what you think of today's episode. If you loved this episode, subscribe to the BeautyPro podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you never miss an episode. Don't forget to leave your reviews, stars, feedback so I can continue bringing the content you deserve and want most. Your feedback fuels this podcast. The more you give, the more you get back. You can follow me at The Beauty Pro Coach on Instagram and Facebook. Want to contact me directly? Email me at befree@goldentruthcoaching.com.